Was the 2021 season for the 49ers a success? And is it true? Did Kyle Shanahan not win the big one? All that and more, plus your questions. Open up the Winky Wednesday mailbag on today's episode of Locked On 49ers.
You are Locked On 49ers, your daily San Francisco 49ers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On 49ers. Brian Peacock and Eric Crocker with you at BD Peacock at Eric_Crocker. That's where the questions are coming from on today's mailbag portion of the podcast. But first, you know the drill. It is Wednesday, so let's bring on today's guest.
Nick Winkler, come on down.
Another Winky Wednesday. Wink, how you doing, man? The season did not end as we hoped. We hope to be previewing a Super Bowl match right now for the 49ers. So first off, if there's anything you're stinking on about these San Francisco 49ers, the floor is yours.
I mean, you can't stink on it, right? I mean, this was a team that was 3-5 and just, it seemed like it was going to be another lost season after, the way 2020 went. And all of a sudden they turned it around, and they look good doing it. They went on a great run week 18, round 1, round 2 of the playoffs. It's a bummer the way it ended. Obviously that sucked. But at the same time, it was a great year. A lot of teams would trade places with us. Only one fan base and team really get to be happy at the end of the year. I wouldn't trade it. I mean, obviously you would love to go on and do this and that, but we had a buddy of ours, Brian, actually, I don't know if you saw this message or not. We are in a big fantasy football thread. And he was asking, which is worse, going 6-9 and not even, or 6-11, not even making the playoffs, or getting this far and then getting your heart broken. Which one really hurts more? And to me, that's an easy question. I mean, you want to get in the dance. You want to get that chance, that nervous energy in the playoffs as a fan. That feels good the week leading up to it. You're seeing, hey, go Niners. Everywhere you see the Niners stuff, you see the flags flying in people's windows. That was good stuff. It sucked the way it went out, but at the same time, it was a good year.
I didn't see that text, but was it from Ryan Covey, who's a Bears fan? And that starts to make a lot more sense. Is it better to be a 49ers fan than a Bears fan? Yeah, hell yeah, it is.
Yeah, no, he came in, though. He chimed in on it easily with this, okay. Well, of course you want to go to the playoffs. You never get to go.
Your brother's a Lions fan, so it doesn't get much more difficult.
He said, I don't know. He said, I don't know the difference between the two because I never get those playoff wins.
I do have a little bit of pushback for Winky.
Okay.
All right, and it's...
You would rather be 6-9 than lose the NFC Championship game, Croc?
No, I would rather definitely lose it with NFC Championship game, but I think the thing that, hurts the most, that, kind of makes it to where it's I have a hard time saying, I just happy to get there, is when you have a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter of the NFC Championship game and you blow it. And that's the part that makes it hard. If they just went to NFC Championship game and got blown out, I would be like, man, you know what? They fought hard. They were 3-5. They lost to the Cards. It was a great season just to get to that point. And you know what? They just need a little bit more to be able to win that type of game. But when you're up 10 in that game and blow it, that hurts.
That hurts.
It hurts.
Man.
It hurts.
It's because you kind of have the rug pulled out from under you, right? You felt like you're up 10. This is good. And I don't, I don't want to harp too much on the Tart drop pick, but it's just my wife had left the room at that point, and they had been watching it with me, and I just screamed, catch the ball, so loud that she came in the room. She's like, are you okay? I've never heard that kind of anguish in your voice. And I was just down on the ground, just sitting like this. It still had 3-point lead, but it was I know what's coming next. That hurt, man. That hurt.
Yeah, and what came next was a 15-yard gain or something like that. Then
and the personal foul.
Unnecessary roughness. And
you just felt it. That was the snowball started going down the hill at that point, right?
Yeah, that was Jimmy Ward was like, hey, I got you, high school teammate. I'm going to do something stupid to make that look better for you and go take a 2-yard penalty here.
Nice.
No, but that was the story of the game. And it wasn't just Tart alone, because if that was it and the offense did something, could get a first down, if you could get a convert a 3rd and 2 or go for it on 4th and 2, or not go backwards for 2 straight series. They needed one person to make a play in the fourth quarter, and they couldn't get it.
Yeah.
Kyle couldn't call a good play. The offensive line couldn't block anything up in the run game. Debo didn't really even touch the ball.
That's the stink right there. If you want to wink in the stink, it's the fact that at 12 and a half minutes left in the game was the last time that Deebo Samuel touched the ball. Like, you have probably the most dynamic player in the NFL on your team playing right now, and he didn't touch the ball for that long? 2 series? Like, oh.
I'm with you.
One thing you just said, Peacock, and I think a lot of people might not know, or maybe our listeners, maybe you touched on it before, but yeah, Tart and Ward, high school teammates. And I was actually out here. I had got my beard lined up a little bit last week out here in Mobile, Alabama, where Tart's from. He's from Mobile. And they told me Tart was a basketball player. He was not a football player until like his senior year of high school, and ended up playing well and got a scholarship, but he was a hooper before all that. So that was just interesting. Little fun fact about Jaquiski Tart.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, he's got some size to him. He's got some length for sure.
I think people they don't know that. Like, he's 6'2".
I didn't know that.
6'2". Like, yeah, Tart is like 6'2", 225 pounds or something crazy like that. Like, he's a big safety.
And I think he was even over 6'2". Like, he was a large human and he was a freak of nature coming out of college.
Yeah, he ran like 4.5, mid 4.5s or something coming out of Samford.
Yeah, Samford. Yeah. And at 6'2", 220, you're running 4.5s. Is like, wow. We thought, looking at this guy, maybe he's a linebacker. And then he runs and he's like, oh, not only that, he could play single high if he wanted to. He's a pretty unique player, and he's had some injuries throughout his career, but I think really underrated what Tart's been able to do.
Do they bring him back?
I don't think you can afford it.
Yeah.
Hufanga, you got basically free starter in Hufanga if you trust him as a starting strong safety, and you have to save money somewhere because you've got Tomlinson, you've got DJ Jones. Thank you. You've got Arden Key. There's a ton of guys that you need to throw some money at, and you can't throw money at all of them. And since it depends how you feel about Hufanga, but if you think you've got a starting caliber guy, you almost have to let Tart walk because you already have so much money already tied up in safety with Jimmy Ward too, and he's the one player I probably think of all the free agents is the most likely to walk.
I'll say this. The safety market sucks. So I don't think he's going to get like a whole lot, especially for someone who might be labeled as a quote unquote box safety. Safeties hate that term. They're like, dude, we play everything. And Tart does play everything. But he is someone that plays a little bit more down, ideally, than as single high, even though I think he does that well. But they're just not making a whole lot of money. That was a big issue for guys like Eric Reed, Kenneth Vaccaro. Remember, a lot of those guys who, Trey Boston, they were like, man, we're having these good years. We're not really getting paid, especially for a guy who is, aging. Tart is going to be like 30 years old next year. So I think, if they were to be able to bring him back, they pay him a little bit more, $2 million or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if he's back as a 49er. He's a good football player.
So maybe he goes out, tests the market, doesn't get what he wants, and is like, all right, I'll go back.
That's what just happened. That's what just happened, right? In the last offseason. Different because of the money and those things. So the market in general sucked for a lot of football players. But I think something like that, kind of happens again. And that wasn't just him. That was him. That was Jason Verrett. That was K'Waun Williams. The 49ers allowed all those guys to test the market. And I don't think it was what they wanted to see. And they came back to the 49ers.
Right.
Every 49ers free agent I always think is going to go sign with Robert Saleh's Jets too. So
or the Seahawks.
Money, right? Yeah, or or the Seahawks.
One of the two.
What's funny is looking at the depth chart for the New York Jets. They got Ashton Davis out of Cal, who they drafted in the 3rd round, 2 years ago, not 2021, but I think 2020. Will Parks spent time at the Niners. Kai Nakua, he was on the Niners practice squad, right? They don't have a lot of names at safety there, so you could probably just plug Tart right in as a starter in New York. So I could see him going there. I wonder if there might be a little trade action. What if the Niners traded one of their mini linebackers, Greenlaw? What could the Niners get for Greenlaw?
A 4th.
I think you hold on to him though.
I think a 3rd starting linebacker, maybe.
I feel like you could draft a starting linebacker in the 3rd.
Hard to argue that.
Third, you can't draft Greenlaw because he's on the Niners. That's a good point. That's a good point. Anyway, what were we? Oh yeah. So okay, I want to run this by you guys because you brought it up, Croc, about the 10-point lead, not being able to hold a lead. Can Kyle Shanahan not win the big one next? Speaking of the big one, Cincinnati Bengals, 4 points. It's easy money. BetOnline has you covered this season. Super Bowl, props, odds, lines, more than ever before as we continue toward the Super Bowl. And I mean, not even football. You got basketball, college and pro hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, live real-time updates during games, which is a super fun feature that not enough people utilize at betonline.net. BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. But you didn't know they had podcasts over there as well. And hey, how about casino games? Poker, blackjack, while you're waiting for the game to end, play a little blackjack. Make money while you're making money, right? So don't wait. Take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2022 season at BetOnline, where the game starts. Okay, Croc, 10-point lead, fourth quarter. The offense could not get it done. Don't go for it on fourth down. No killer mentality with the 49ers offense. Then the last 2 drives of the game, it's tied and you're down 3. They're going backwards. -8 yards on 2 drives. Can't get anything at all going on the offensive side of the ball. Super Bowl, up 10 points. The Kansas City Chiefs. What happens? You lose the game. 2016 offensive coordinator, I know, but Super Bowl 28-3, the most famous Super Bowl collapse of all time. Kyle Shanahan was on that sideline. I can't even name all the listeners that have asked me this question. Is it Kyle Shanahan? Can Kyle Shanahan not win the big one? Does something change in his mind? Is there something that he does that makes it so his teams can't close out big games, championship games, and Super Bowls?
I think the 4th and 2, like there might be a little something to that where, you have to just be like, you have to be all in on winning this game and not playing to not lose the game. Right.
Go get it.
I feel like that was one opportunity, but I feel like each time the scenario has been different, which kind of leads me to believe, I don't want to just say it's just bad luck, but maybe it's just not his time. We saw this again with Andy Reid early in his career. He went to 4 straight NFC championships, 1 Super Bowl, ended up losing to the New England Patriots. And if you ask Terrell Owens, he'll say it's because of McNabb was out of shape throwing up on the field. But when it comes to him, like, what's the difference between Andy Reid then and Andy Reid that has going to 4 straight AFC championships now, but won a Super Bowl, right? And that 1 Super Bowl at least proves that you can do it. And I think Kyle Shanahan, in time, he's going to do it. But it's tough when you get down to it, those games, and it's you or the other team. It's one game, one opportunity. It's tough. I don't think that he can't do it. I feel like if you can get there, you can win it. Like if you can get to a big game, you can win it because he does win the other big games. That game, week 18, that was a big game, right? That was a big game. That was win or go home. Was it the Super Bowl? No, but that was as big of a game against hell. The game before that, Houston Texans, although we didn't know 100% that it was a win or go home game, that was a win or go home game that he had to win with his rookie quarterback. And he did. So, can you win in a big game? He had to go to Green Bay in frigid weather, 0-degree weather, and they figured out a way. So I think he is the right guy for it. It's just he has to get over that hump and, to either get to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl. But I think it's going to come. It's just, just got to do it. But I 100% believe that he's the guy. He is the guy. He's going to win him one. And fortunately for the 49ers, he's going to do it with Trey Lance. Let's go.
Right. Hey, you say the big game. Yeah, he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but you mentioned it. He's won a lot of big games. He beat Dallas in the playoffs. He's won a lot of playoff games for an NFL coach. That's impressive. That's good. He's gotten to 2 NFC championship games in 3 years. That's impressive. Yeah, he hasn't won the big one. You talk about maybe he's unlucky. I mean, if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't overthrow Emmanuel Sanders in the Super Bowl, maybe things are different. If Jaquazi Tartt can hold on to a pick, maybe things are different. It's not all on Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, he maybe made some bad calls. The offensive line looked horrible on those last 2 drives back on Sunday. They looked so bad. They were just getting run through. I know Williams was out there on one leg, but there's so many things that go into it. I think Kyle is the man. I think you're right. I think he is going to win one, and I think it is going to be with Trey Lance.
Real quick, you go back to the Falcons game. That game was pretty much over, right? Last drive. Nobody, before regulation ended, nobody remembers this. But on the last drive, when everybody gets on him about throwing the ball, and you could have just, won the game running the ball and kicked the field goal and win the game, they completed a pass for a nice game, setting them up in terrific field goal range. But it got called back for holding. So is he unable to close something out or win a game because that tackle got called for holding when Mohamed Sanu picked up really good yardage and it was set up to be like a 40-yard chip shot 35-yard field goal, So it's like, he can't win the big game because this guy got called for holding and a terrific play call got called back. I think he's the guy. It's just you got to win it. And he's going to keep hearing these things like Andy Reid did until Andy Reid finally won that game. And it took, what did it take from Andy Reid? Having a quarterback do some spectacular stuff, right? That's the other part about it. And everybody, Jimmy Garoppolo, what he is or what he isn't, Jimmy does not win the game for you, right? Your run game wins it, right? Most of the time with the 49ers, they blow teams out. They put teams away. It's, 49ers scored 51 points on the Panthers team because they ran for 400 yards or whatever they did, right? A lot of times, 49ers didn't beat Green Bay because, Jimmy threw for a ton of yards. They blocked the punt. They blocked the field goal, ran one back for a touchdown. All these other things went to contributing to that until he gets his quarterback right, which hopefully Trey Lance is the guy that can go above the X's and O's in the biggest of moments where he needs that play. It's going to be hard to win those type of games. The 49ers has several opportunities to close out the Kansas City Chiefs. Balls got batted down at the line of scrimmage. A misthrow or misread here and there. The quarterback just not making a play. Same thing happened in the fourth quarter of the Rams game, just could not make the play. But how did the 49ers lose the Super Bowl? Patrick Mahomes pulled a play out of his ass and backed up 40 yards and threw the ball 60 yards, and his guy caught the ball. Sometimes you got to have some guys bail you out, and I think that's another thing. Kyle has not had his players back him in these moments, and he's taking the brunt of it.
And you made a great point there, Croc, about that holding. And again, Kyle called the holding play. Unbelievable.
How could he?
Kyle called the play where the running back whiffs on the block with a guy wide open and his quarterback, Matt Ryan, loading up. That's the ball game right there. It's over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dialed up. It's over. And his running back just whiffs, completely whiffs. If you would tell me that the running back, Freeman, have money on the game, I would believe you. That's how bad he whiffed. On a receiver wide open. There was nobody within 15 yards of the receiver. Matt Ryan loaded up, threw the ball downfield, or was going to, but instead he gets hit because the guy doesn't block, and it gets returned for a touchdown. But you know what? It's Kyle Shanahan's fault.
It's Shanahan's, yeah.
Absolutely. There is a very Andy Reid-like career arc for Kyle Shanahan right now. And until he wins the big one, it's just the way it is, and it's going to continue.
It's going to be the conversation. There's not going anywhere until he wins the big one. But I don't look at him and say he can't win the big one. I don't look at him and say that because what's the big one, right? Was the big one? Okay? So is this a NFC Championship game? Is that a big game? Because if so, he's already won one, so he can win a big game, right?
Mm-hmm. And I wonder if I do feel like so. The big thing that is in his head from the Super Bowl with the Falcons was that he was too aggressive. I wonder if that stayed with him because since then it's always been, now he's not aggressive enough. And at some point I wonder if he just has to say, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go win a game. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call my game. And I wonder if he does tighten up a little bit, right? You said it. He's tight butthole.
Yeah.
Right, Croc?
He gets tight. He gets tight. But I'll say that he gets tight in his kind of front runner mentality, right? I mean, he's aggressive when he's up. When the game is tight, he gets that tight, right? He gets that. Yeah. You guys on listening to the pod, you can't see me, but I'm holding my fist and I'm clenching it as tight as I can. All right. He gets that tight.
I don't think they needed the visual, Croc. I don't think they needed
it. But I don't know. After he lost that game, he wasn't even the head coach, and the defense blew a 28-3 lead. But
Yeah.
after the Falcons lost that game, he talked about it and said, I do it all the same, because if I go down doing it the way that I feel like other people think I should do it, I'll never be able to live with the results.
Respect that.
And for that reason, I believe he's doing it his way, but you just Tart, can you catch this pick?
Yeah.
You know what's
It's
funny
the
is-
execution isn't there.
Yeah,
just-
Jimmy, can you hit this guy that's wide open right here, and can you not miss George Kittle running wide open down the middle of the field, and you overthrow him and not do anything to kind of make up for that? Like, maybe he just kind of needs that. Got to help your coach, man.
Yeah,
Gotta
and
help your coach. All you can do is call the plays.
And there's people on the other side that are pretty good, and they're paid well to stop you too. And it was pretty amazing to watch how the Rams could both stop the run and stack the box, and nobody was open in a lot of cases. So, you gotta give credit where credit's due, and the Rams did well. But the irony of it too, Tart drops the ball, and you're like standing up yelling, "Oh, catch the ball! What are you doing?" And then the one that Jimmy dumps off to Juwan Jennings, you're like, "Don't catch it! Drop the ball!" And he catches that one, right? Like, just drop it. Don't lose yards and keep the clock running.
Right.
That was how it went. That was the game in the fourth quarter for the 49ers. And unfortunately, they are out now and have to watch the Super Bowl from home. Let's get to the mailbag next. Obviously, in the new year, there's a lot of resolutions. Hopefully, yours is still going here in February, which means you probably made Built Bar part of your plan. Built Bar is the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. By the way, at built.com, a new flavor, an old flavor is back. It's churro puffs. If you're into the churro flavor, I'm still all about the peanut butter. Croc is all about the cookies and cream Built Bar. No matter your flavor, you can find something you like. Most of them covered in 100% real chocolate at built.com. You can even get a mixed box of Built Bars if you're not sure. Most Built Bars contain only 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, only 4 grams of net carbs, and a whopping 17 grams of protein. Compare that to a candy bar that you might be grabbing for in your purse or in your desk at work that's 250 calories and dozens of carbs and 30 grams of sugar. That's not what you want. So go to all your stashes, throw Built Bars in there, feel good about it, and eat a snack that both tastes good, that is healthy for you. And you can find those at built.com. Use promo code LOCKED15. That'll get you 15% off your order at built.com. That is promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. All right, it's mailbag time here, guys. Let's get in. Oh, one quick note here. Did you see the end of season press conferences from Tuesday? There was, kind of standard stuff. It sounded like they were talking about Garoppolo in the past tense. Like, he's gone. And I already knew that was the case, but they're like, it was nice when he was here, kind of thing. He was like, wait a second, what did you say? How did you put
He was a good guy.
We thank him for helping us through that hard time. Like, oh, okay, so we're done. We're done with that. All right.
I wonder if Jimmy G listens to Winky Wednesdays on the podcast, because his quote was, faithful, thank you very much for everything. It's been crazy, man. Just all the comebacks at Levi's, comebacks on the road, ups and downs. It's been a hell of a ride, guys. I love you guys. See ya. See ya. Just like Winkler does on the old Winky.
It was
Wednesday.
me, actually.
It was really awkward too. He
in.
was like, did you guys see? He was like, all right, see ya. Like walked out. I'm out.
I'll never talk to any of you guys again.
I hope you guys get some good trade value for me. I'm out of here.
Yeah, they said his people in the Niners are actively searching for trade partners. I've heard that's good.
What is his trade value?
Yeah, that's tough, right?
So,
Second,
Niners are asking for a 1. They're going to end up settling for a 2. Teams probably want to give them a 3. So it's going to end up being a second rounder. Maybe you have to be like, okay, hey, 5th this year, conditional pick next year if he's hurt, because he's gonna have surgery probably too this offseason. So, and the injury history he's got, which is part of the reason the 49ers probably went and got a quarterback, was just availability for Jimmy Garoppolo. So I think a team will probably say, okay, look, we're not going to give you this year's 2, especially if they're drafting high in the second round. Let's say, how about this? We'll give you a 5th this year. Next year, if he plays 75% of the snaps, then, or if he's active for 8 games or whatever it is, something pretty low probably, then you get a 2nd. If not, you get a 3rd. So a future 2nd maybe is a way that, I think there's some conditions involved that could maybe get the 49ers a higher pick if a team doesn't want to give it 2. And who knows, maybe something like the Carson Wentz trade where they can get a conditional future 1 out of it. But I just don't see him getting a 1st this year. but there's no quarterbacks that a team's going to draft and say, this is our guy this year. Except, what about Malik Willis? Did you get your eyes on Malik Willis at the Senior Bowl, Croc? Because, by the way, Croc, what year is it? Judging by your background, what year is it in Mobile, Alabama right now?
In Mobile, Alabama, it is 1966.
Okay.
Whatever house I'm in, it's a little outdated. Matter of fact, Nick Winkler came on and he said, Nick Winkler came on.
That's true.
And he said, "Oh, I know," but he said, "Croc, you got a new backdrop?" Like, no, this is not my home. Okay,
You go use up in a time machine.
yeah, with all this wood, I mean, it's probably.
Probably more the 70s right there. That's like mid 70s look with all the wood.
This is it looks like this is where they shot that 70s show. Yeah.
Wow. It does kind of look like
nice.
Right. Oh, but Malik Willis, up and down, very inconsistent. The processing's a little off. Could be because, first time kind of being in this offense, not sure. But I would say out of the guys where I just felt like, made some really good throws. Oh, made a play on the move. Throw here and there. I thought he did a good job of that. Wasn't focusing so much on the quarterbacks. I was looking at the receivers. A guy named Christian Watson out of North Dakota State. Thought he was very impressive. 6'4", 211 pounds. Looked good. Played strong at the catch point. Interesting.
Like
little Keelan Doss-ish. But yeah. Anyways, quarterback. Probably not really the class for a quarterback at if you really need it.
Yeah. Especially if you need it now. And so if you're a team looking for quarterbacks, let's draft a different position in the first round. Maybe second round if one of these guys is here. Maybe let's just send something for Jimmy and have a veteran here and not worry about quarterback this year. Kenny Pickett, 8-inch hands or something crazy like that. Is that real?
Take my strong hand. They're saying he has the little tiny hands, man. No, he's up there and he's like, look, I played in cold weather, and I went to the press conference and I meant to ask, I waited too long, but why do you wear gloves? Why do you wear those gloves?
How about this, guys?
Go ahead.
Well, yeah. Why are you wearing gloves if your hands are just fine in the cold? That's a great question. Speaking of quarterbacks here in Garoppolo's trade value, betonline.net, the odds for Jimmy Garoppolo being Tom Brady's heir apparent now, not in New England, but in Tampa. He's got the leading odds to be the next quarterback for the Tampa Bay Bucks. It's 4-1 odds compared to Teddy Bridgewater's on the list. He's got better odds of starting week 1 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, according to BetOnline, than Kyle Trask, who's already on the team, is 6-1. How about that? I
mean, where do you guys think he's going? Should we make some predictions right now? I mean, the chances of him ending up in the NFC South is huge, right? I mean, you look at it, Saints need it. Atlanta might move on from Matt Ryan. Panthers need a quarterback. Tampa Bay needs a quarterback. There's a lot of openings there.
Yeah, I think for Carolina, they've already spent money. They picked up the 5th-year option for Darnold and already did the exact trade that you would be trading for last year. I feel like they're hamstrung there, and they got to go to the draft, but they missed on the draft.
Did you hear what they said? Did you hear what they said about Sam Darnold?
Oh, I remember it was bad. It was basically we wish we wouldn't have done that kind of thing.
Yeah, it was we thought maybe he'd do better and he would be worth more. So, we picked up his 5th-year option, but clearly it was a mistake. We're stupid. Joke's on us. Now we got to pay him. Can't trade for anybody else. I was like, golly. Not in those words, but basically that's what he said. Really what he said was, we thought he would be better and we picked up the 5th-year option. And it hasn't worked out for us. He basically almost said that word for word.
Yeah. So you pay him $18 million or whatever it is, and then pay Jimmy $25 million.
No, it's 25.
It's 25 for Darnold.
Yes.
Oh,
that's option for a quarterback.
So that's what, because he's a number 3 overall pick, just like Trey Lance. So Trey Lance is going to get even more than that on his 5th-year option too. So Trey Lance is only going to be cheap for 4 years. His 5th-year option is going to be expensive, and then whatever So. That's 3 more years of cheap years for Trey Lance, and hopefully he's good. And you want to pick up that 5th-year option and want to sign him after that. But you get paid a lot. And Bosa too, 2nd overall pick, is going to be pretty expensive here pretty soon. He's got 1 more year on his first 4-year deal, 4 years of his rookie contract. Then that 5th-year option will be 2023 for Nick Bosa, which won't be cheap whether he's re-signed at that point or plays on that 5th-year option. But Jimmy G, to answer your question, I would say the teams that make the most sense, Tampa, they've got a good defense, ready to win now. Saints have a good defense, ready to win now. Can they fit his number under the cap? Although they could, restructure it or add a year to his deal and lower the cap number this year before the cap goes up in 2023. Pittsburgh Steelers have a good defense with good quarterback play. They could be a win now team. I think those are the three that stand out most. Teams that have a defense. I think Washington's defense is up and coming as well, so he could make sense for the Commanders. And Jimmy G has. Did you guys see that Joe Theismann let the cat out of the bag? That
he leaked it.
Yeah, it's going to be the Washington Commanders, maybe it sounds like. And hey, who has more command over their offense in the locker room than Jimmy Garoppolo, right?
Boom.
Right.
Plus, you'll look great in those new uniforms.
All pro professional. You
Yeah.
you can say what you want about Jimmy on the field and, some
100%.
weird stuff. All pro professional. Can I take a second to kind of really commend him on that? How he's handled this situation. He's been the ultimate professional. He came out and said it. He was not happy about the trade, as he shouldn't be. You trade for everything for this rookie, like I'm gone. And then to deal with this whole year knowing I'm gone. Everybody else could say, oh man, no, he might be back. Remember, some guys, they could see him being back. No, he's gone. He's going to be gone. And he knew he was going to be gone. And that's extremely tough to play under those circumstances, but still somehow command the locker room, did a terrific job of doing that. Clearly had all the veterans behind him. Hey, we've gone to war with this guy. We're still going to war with this guy. That's my guy until he's not. And he was the constant professional. And then the thing that I really appreciated with how he handled this whole situation, Trey Lance coming out and saying, man, it's going to be one of my best friends for life. That just shows how he was to the young guy and, how open he was in answering questions and really understanding, well, I'm going to be gone regardless. I might as well help him, but he didn't have to do it. So shout out to Jimmy Garoppolo, the football player, whatever, all pro professional. And person.
Yeah, I mean,
all pro person.
Right after he led the team to the Super Bowl, they were like, oh, Tom Brady, hey, what's up? How you doing? And then, before last year, Matt Stafford, hey, come on over. It wasn't just the Trey Lance thing, too. It was like his last few years, there was a lot of, flirting with other quarterbacks. So, yeah, I'm with you 100%. Jimmy G did exactly what he needed to do for the 49ers. And, he didn't get him to that next level. And for himself, sure, he's going to make a lot more money, I'm sure, down the road.
He's going to get the contract next year.
Yeah.
He's going to get the $25 million from somebody that maybe wasn't going to be guaranteed that he was going to get that. So he played the 49ers draft pick that they traded into a better spot. The Niners went far. Their plan succeeded. That was one of the questions that I've seen a lot too. Was it a successful season, even though they didn't win the Super Bowl? Or did it have to be a Super Bowl win? Because what if now Trey Lance isn't going to be as good next year because he didn't play enough this year? So you're kind of buying from the future to try to win now. And they didn't get over the hump. They didn't win the Super Bowl. I think it's a successful season still, but some people think, nope, it had to be Super Bowl or it was not successful. Do you guys agree with that?
No. I think you're exactly right. I think it was successful.
I think once you made the playoffs, it was a success in the sense of being able to develop your young guy for the future. We saw him in the Houston Texans game. He's taking the right strides, taking strides in the right direction. Obviously, you want him to be the guy moving forward, but you got to allow it. You push that draft pick back to pick 29, that first round pick that you gave up. And, you had a playoff run and you went deep and you created a lot of optimism moving forward. And you know that your head coach is the guy. So all of our conversation this whole offseason, it won't be about Kyle Shanahan like we thought it would be when the 49ers were 2-4 and 3-5. It's all going to be about building around your young, talented guy that you felt played better and looked better in the Texans game. So there's that confidence moving forward. I think it was a win in the sense of where we feel like the 49ers are moving forward.
And if you consider the entirety of the whole deal being Trey Lance plus Jimmy Garoppolo, how that all works in, it's like as if you got another pick back because of how much better Jimmy played and what he earned you in trade this year by playing well. So that's like an extra part of the Lance deal. You didn't give up just the stuff for Lance. You also get something back from your quarterback that you also got a chance to win with this year. So an extra pick in that whole transaction coming back your way that maybe wouldn't have happened before if Jimmy didn't play well and if Jimmy didn't turn the season around as well for the 49ers.
How hurt is Jimmy?
3-5.
Hopefully, oh man, hey guys, my thumb. Yeah, I couldn't really grip it, but I wanted to fight for my team. So, you guys can give up those high draft picks for me. I was a little banged up, but you know what? I'm going to be healed up and be ready to go.
This is what I think, and I've said this a few times. Fans from other teams, if you go talk to Steelers fans, we heard it from the Texans guys, right? They're like, we don't want Jimmy Garoppolo. We got Davis Mills. Why would we want a Jimmy Garoppolo? We don't want any part of that. If you go talk to Steelers fans, you go talk to Saints fans, go talk to Tampa Bay fans, whatever. Any of these teams we're talking about, Denver, I've talked with Cody Rourke of Locked On Broncos. He's like, yeah, give me Aaron Rodgers. That's what it's going to be. You're like, well, Jimmy Garoppolo. I was like, no way, Jimmy Garoppolo. They're a playoff team with Jimmy Garoppolo this year. That's exactly the type. We didn't talk about Denver earlier. That's exactly good defense. Go get a quarterback that can win you some stinking games. They've had garbage quarterback play. But here's the thing. So you go talk to the fan bases. They're not excited about Jimmy Garoppolo.
They don't want them at all.
You go talk to the head coaches. They love it. They go, oh, give me that grit. Give me that leadery sauce. Give me that guy I can win games with, because I don't have 3 years. My ass is going to get canned. I need to win right now.
Yeah.
That veteran I can win games with. So coaches are going to love them some Jimmy Garoppolo. He's won some fans, I think, in a lot of buildings. The fans out there for those teams will be like, oh, we got Jimmy. We were hoping for something sexier, maybe. Well, not sexier looking, but maybe bigger armed and more athletic. How about that?
For the same reasons that Kyle Shanahan played him over a rookie are the same reasons that other teams are going to be like, all right, he can help us in this situation. Like, again, some of these teams that are kind of borderline, especially at the quarterback position, like, you will likely be a playoff team with Jimmy Garoppolo. Likely. Not guaranteed, but likely. Now, how far you go in the playoffs, that's going to depend on how well you run the ball and play defense. But you will at least be able to get into the dance. And that's valuable to guys with their jobs on the line. It's more valuable than how the fan thinks of him at quarterback.
Yeah, coaches love that leadery juice, man.
Oh, they love that gritty leadery sauce, man. Sprinkle that on everything, on wings, dip your fries in it, put it on your burger. They are absolutely into that. Look, we're out of time here, but I want to go to Alejandro because he has a good point that ties into how this team was built, where Jimmy's at, the decisions that were made in the offseason. Alejandro says, I don't think we are giving Lynch near as much credit as he deserves for the football character his roster has. These grown men are crying for their brothers on the team, all of them, I've never seen anything like it. How many GMs would you rather have right now? And I think it's a really good point. The thing that has it was the day one mission statement, right? We're going to build around the defensive line. We're going to bring in high caliber character players that are going to play their butts off. And that's exactly what they've done. They've had some hits and misses. It's been a roller coaster along the way. They've whiffed on some draft picks as well. But, man, you look up and down the toughness of all 22 starters on the roster. They've won a lot of games because of the personal character and the football character of the players that John Lynch has brought in. So if there's one thing he's done right, it's been that. And that was part of the day one mission statement.
Yeah, and then Niner fans that have been around for a while know about it. I mean, Aldon Smith, Bruce Miller, like there were some tough times there when the 49ers did not have those high-class, high-caliber guys. Yeah.
Breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. There's a new head coach. There we go. It's the breaking news music. A new head coach signing with the Minnesota Vikings.
Don't say it.
Harbaugh's back, baby.
Don't say
Harbaugh's back.
Oh!
Harbaugh is back. Says that he's signing. That's kind of the breaking news. Obviously, we'll find out, how true those kind of quote unquote rumors are, but that's what's floating around right now from the blue check marks is Jim Harbaugh signing with Minnesota Vikings. Who has it better than us?
Wow, nobody. That's incredible. I like him back in the league. It's a better NFL with Harbaugh in it.
Yeah,
it's definitely a lot more interesting with Harbaugh back. Oh man, I feel like Cousins is a good fit for Harbaugh. Does he just turn it around with the group they have? That's a win now move. It's a very win now move for those Minnesota Vikings. Harbaugh is back. Wow. All right. Dude, there's the Brian Flores stuff. This stuff's crazy. We're gonna be talking about that and the Harbaugh stuff tomorrow on the Peacock and Williamson NFL show. So you're gonna want to tune in to that. There is no better reality show in the world than the NFL, man. And it never sleeps. That's why we do podcasts every day, all year, even the off season. And guess what? For the 49ers, it's draft season. Hit that subscribe, tell a friend. Thank you so much, everybody, for making us your first listen every single day. For your second listen, check out the Peacock and Williamson show. Check out Croc on Locked On NFL Draft, breaking down everything going on at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama this week. Wink, thank you so much for joining the show once again.
My pleasure.
And Croc and I will be back tomorrow right here, Locked On 49ers.
See ya.